Welcome back with a video. Today we're going to be showcasing all my arena stats and teams. Now, if you're interested where to use these teams into what defenses, I'm going to be making a whole separate video for that, just because it's much easier for me. I was going to add images to this video, what to take into these teams with this team comp, but there's so much into it more than that, so I'm going to have to make a whole separate video. But expect that maybe either it's the same day today or tomorrow. I'm not too sure. We'll have to find out. But again, I will be uploading that as well, hopefully making your life much easier, right? We don't have no other arena new units coming out, no Genesis Rats for like another 2 weeks or so, so the arena meta should not be changing anytime soon, right? Even the Baz patch, I think it's another week or so, week and a half or so, maybe 2. Again, nothing still. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. Again, what a journey. We are currently we were at 18k earlier, now we're at 17.8. I have not touched arena. I'm just doing my daily flags. Now, I just woke up not that long ago. I was watching the prelims and all that, and now here I am recording extremely late. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, it does reset weekly. Keep this in mind, arena does reset weekly. So I'm gonna have to be doing this every single week. It really depends on if this guy's gonna try to fight me or not for first place. I really want first this week because it gives me a lot of leeway. With weekly arena resets, anyone down here can try to fit their way in there into the top 3. So therefore, if I get rank 1, I already have a huge leeway. I have nothing to worry about. If I end at rank 3, I have to worry about people. Rank 1, I have nothing to really worry about, right? These guys can't outpush me. I outpush them. That's just being realistic. Alright, I push pretty damn fast at this point. I pretty much solved the arena. Kind of. I still int here and there. But honestly, I swear every time I int, it's literally because I get outsped. There are some crazy speed people. In that recent video I uploaded, I was getting outsped by SPP at 316 re-knock. Kinda crazy when you think about it. But yeah, there are a lot of speed demons. That's what you do have to be worried about. This kind of meta we do have right now, kind of annoying for turn 2 players. But it really depends on your gear. Like, if you have the gear enough to tank down, you should be good. But again, you need the gear for it, right? So let's get into it. Let's talk about the teams that I currently do use for arena. A lot of things have been changing, you know. I've been jumping around comps today. I've been spamming kind of 2 comps over and over and over. So, first comp, ARAM, Hua Young, Straze, Oxlux. Very, very good. Again, if you are interested to see what I use different, I upload a video, basically 2 videos of cleaving arena. I do use this versus any hard steady defense. Literally any hard steady defense, this is very, very good. Now, if there's a red Politis and all that, I will just go ahead and Young Senya that instead. Alright, any Celine and all that, I just go ahead and Young Senya because it's much easier. If you don't have Young Senya, you're gonna have to use ARAM, but honestly, just run a tank. Just run 2 other units here. That's our tanky, right? Now, you could also slot in BBK. If you watch my recent video of arena cleave, I pretty much use this quite a bit. Literally anyone can fit this 4th slot. If I'm finding a BBK, I put Veronica. If there's a Young Senya, I put Elvira. Because even without, you know, Straze here, I do perfectly fine. Because BBK damage is insane. And I'm able to do 2 S3s on BBK. And the second one actually will have attack buff. So like, it's still going to do a lot of damage. Right, so let's say you're scared of, you don't want to take Straze in there because, like, wait a minute, kind of suspicious here, right? Potentially you do see him die. You can see Straze just poof, pop, go away, right? So, therefore, I do take BBK. I think taking Straze to BBK is a little bit scary, right? So let's say I did have the Oxlux Straze here, I would not take it into BBK. I would rather prefer take BBK and Veronica. I have been seeing quite a bit of hard steady defenses with Straze. You can just run this perfectly fine. You can literally just run this perfectly fine. Now let's go ahead and show the stats. Is this the right BBK though? It is the right BBK. So this is going to be my main BBK that I do use most of the time for this comp. Now, I could just give her more DPS, but I have been switching. I've been using my BBK actually in a different comp, so therefore I do have her this speed. But ideally, if you just use it with ARAM, this is going to be your perfect amount of speed and DPS. 5k, 350. Yes. On Torrent, preferably. If you don't have Torrent, honestly, it's not really end of the world. Crit set's perfectly fine. But in terms of artifacts, you could run something else, but I really just prefer Shepherd. I'd rather just go ahead and knock myself out using Shepherd, right? So, that is why I do not have Proc set on my ARAM as well, because you know, I'm mostly taking this into her cities and some Horsettes can go full DPS, which means they're increasing my damage on my BBK. Now, I do have my ARAM on counter, just because honestly, I just want to give her any tanky gear. I don't need her any faster than this. So that's literally my ARAM build. It's nothing special. You can literally build ARAM however you want. I just don't like prop set because it just blocks out the damage I really want for my BBK. Right? That's really about it. Hua Young, full DPS. Hua Young, 5.6, 324. Once I max out her imprints, I can make her 5.6, 344. So you really want this character on full DPS. Portrait for sure. Now, if you don't have portrait, you're gonna have to use symbol. But the problem with symbol, I'm gonna be honest here. The problem with symbol is you kind of want this on Straze. You really kind of want this on Straze, if I'm being honest here. So, Hua Young, you're gonna have to put portrait. If not portrait, I have no idea. You guys put like Tonfa at that point, because you're trying to get as much damage as you perfectly can, right? Now let's go ahead and bring our good old boy Oxlot. Again, I do move this stuff around a lot because, well, I mean, I could have more teams, but I don't really need it. There we go. Straze build, currently 5k 305. I do use this with the mid as well. Again, ideally, you do just want him on an attack boot, because obviously you just try to maximize your damage, because some people are extremely tanky, like Snitchu, for example. So, 5.6, 304. Perfect. Ideally, this is what you want. And again, you can have more crit damage if you want, but I do run this Straze with a mid. I don't want to make another second Straze, because I could make a second Straze, but there's no point because I have two Hua Youngs, right? So here we go. That's pretty much what I do use here in terms of Straze most of the time versus any Horsetti, unless I'm extremely lazy. Again, I know people by numbers already in terms of points and all that. So there are times, if you watch my videos, my arena cleaving and all that, I do not switch gears, because well, I already know I can beat this guy down without even switching my Straze boots. Next is going to be this comp, which I do not use at all. Next, it's going to be Renock. I use this comp quite a bit. Honestly, if it's not W Silk, it will be Blooming Litica instead of W Silk. But sometimes there are times where I run W Silk, but with Blooming Litica or the ML Elena. It really just depends on what I'm going against. If I'm going against another Renock, I am for sure throwing in my Wonder Silk, because it is going to give me a 14 speed imprint. Therefore, we'll be making my Renock 330. I am more confident at 330 than I am at 316, because I am not that fast. Well, she's not on my fastest set. So, that is why I do run W Silk. And then, obviously, Sharoon. This is going to be my fast Sharoon. I do have two Sharoon builds. She's literally just here for, obviously, the passive, the cascade damage, and that's really about it. She's nice, though. She's nice. I like this character a lot. She's very, very fun. I've been using this a lot today. I will say that for sure. Blooming Litica, nothing special about her. You really need her artifact. If you do not have her artifact, she's kind of weird. That decreased pushback is kind of nice. It's really good. I like this a lot. So just keep that in mind. I really prefer her artifact. Otherwise, there's nothing else to really run on her, honestly. And you do want to have her on the Restrict EE. You could do Fruit of Ecstasy, but honestly, I don't really care for that. Restrict's just so much better, especially going against any Ilanov and Boss Arunca. Obviously, Wonder Silk. Wonder Silk is going to be 290 on immunity. Why you want immunity on this character is because she does need a basically buff on her to basically get a guaranteed duel, bringing the ally with the highest attack. That is why you do want her on immunity, for sure. Literally, you need it. You need it. And now in terms of EE, I just got her S2. Pairing this with Elegant Candle is very, very nice. Now, you could run Sachets as well if you really want, but honestly, I like this defense breaker artifact a lot. It's really nice, especially for my Straze, because I do use this sometimes in a different comp as well. But honestly, I just like this because it's more, defense pen at that point. We do take that for sure. Now, obviously, my Elena is at 277. Now, again, she's literally just here to stop counterattacks, so you do not need that much DPS gear. I would not make her so strong. She procs at Hua Young, because mine does go first instead of Blooming Litica. I would prefer my Blooming Litica to go first, but that's just impossible at this point, because Elena's passive would push her up anyways. So, just keep that in mind. Do not try to give her too much DPS. She's literally just here to do her S3. You have the cascade damage, so anything extra is very, very nice. This does not proc Hua Young passive, which is fantastic by me. Very, very nice. I don't have nothing to worry about. I don't have to worry about anything dying because of Hua Young. Go popping her S3 and go killing somebody, right? So therefore, just be careful with her DPS. Artifact, honestly, it really does not matter. I do have her on Unseen Observer, but literally, like I said, it doesn't matter. You don't really need souls at all for this comp specifically, because the only reason I really want souls would be what? Stuns on S1 from Politica Sharon, but again, I just give her that because it really nothing else to really give her. I don't want more damage because I don't want to proc the Hua Young. So just keep that in mind. Next is going to be the slow comp Bride Senya. Again, this is literally just that any comp I use into Tenebria. If you are, sometimes there are team comps I'm like, I'm lazy, I don't want to re-gear a certain piece and all that, or I just want to auto. Mainly like Renox, Tenebria, Nufine, Boss. You do see that quite a bit. Quite a bit. You can go ahead and knock yourself out using this team comp. Very, very good. Very, very good. It's literally the Fumir comp. You literally, like, even without Bride here, it's still perfectly fine. But Bride just, it allows me to auto much easier. Arbiter Villager, nothing special. 343, 4.9 basically, right? Nothing special about this unit. You could give him an attack boot, but I do want some speed on him just for a little bit. Bride Senya, she is going to be on 3F, 38k. Nothing special. You could make her faster, but honestly, it really doesn't matter. I'm literally just there auto-in. It does not matter at all. Young Senya, same situation. I just have her on the fastest set out of everybody here because of Zeos, because sometimes people have Zeo on defense, or just hopefully some, Brian Renox go ahead and hit my Young Senya. Doesn't really matter at that point, though. Doesn't really matter. I just have her the fastest set at that point because maybe they go after the fastest one, right? Who knows? In terms of an artifact, I do like Proof of Friendship. This is mainly when it comes to auto-win. If you're going to manual it, you could just put Bird's Eye if you want and just soul burn away if you really want to on Arbiter Villager and Bride Senya. And then lastly, it's just going to be Mort. Mort is just a normal, typical Mort. I could move him into Speed Boot. I may move him to Speed Boot because sometimes he don't get restricted, and I could just boost up and then S3 right away. I literally see all, whenever I'm watching it, I don't get restricted a lot. I can just boom, do that. I'm like, okay, so maybe I put him in Speed Boot, not too sure. Holy Sec, ideal, I just prefer that over anything else. Same thing, this is another slow comp that is literally ancient. Like, I literally only use this versus any, like, Harsetti, Young Senya, Mort, +1. That's really the only time I ever use this. You could throw in DDR as well. DDR also makes this extremely easy versus, like, any Harsetti, Ilanov boss +1 defense as well. Again, I'll make a whole separate video for this. Again, I plan to anyway, so just bear with me. But again, this is very, very good into any Harsetti, boss, and Ilanov together. Simple as that, right? If you don't have Young Senya, I think ARAM's perfectly fine. I think ARAM's is perfectly fine. It may take a little bit longer, but I haven't tried it out myself, but I would think it's just the same exact thing. The thing is, though, Young Senya is probably providing a lot more damage. But the thing is, with ARAM, you can either reset DDR, you can reset Mort for another S3. So, like, it probably won't be that bad if you literally just replace Young Senya with ARAM, which hopefully you got ARAM because, I mean, if you don't have Young Senya, then it's kind of rough. It really is rough out there. And ARAM, right? Now, into the next comp. The next comp, I have been using this quite a bit. There have been a lot of defenses with Renock and 3 Knights. This is very, very free into that. Why I say that? Well, let's talk about it. Our good old girl, Frida. Now, this really relies on Frida. I'm saying this already. You really need Frida here. Honestly, you could not, you don't really need Frida here, but then that means you're going to hope and pray you land your defense breaks. That's pretty much it with Bride Witch's area. That is literally the only thing that is kind of a problem. I mean, you could run a blue mage here as well. That's the only thing I can think of. Because, again, the whole job of this team comp is... Wait, let me go back. Let me go back over here. Let me go back over here and show my Flan and DDR. Flan, typical Flan. Typical Flan. DDR, I do have mine very, very slow. I give him my HP boot. But again, he's literally just here to be a tanky enough. That's really about it. That's really about it. Now let's go back to this comp specifically. So, you could... I'll say this right now. You could replace Frida with any blue mage that has attack percent imprint, because they need to at least hold book. So it gives your soul burn on Frida, not Frida. It gives your soul burn on Bride Witch's area. So just keep that in mind. So, because with Freedom, I get a guaranteed soul burn on my Luna for free, and I still have souls to soul burn Briar Witch's area. So that is literally the only way you can do this. So just keep that in mind. It has to be a blue mage because it needs to bait out the Renox. So anybody here, like I think Fumir has attack percent. Yeah, Fumir attack percent. You could throw her in there and just have her die. That's the whole point of that. Is literally just to have her die. So just keep that in mind. You probably don't need Frida. Frida is here sometimes because I do outspeed Renox and anything else. Surprisingly, I don't know how I do, but I do at the speed. I am currently 302. My Luna is not that fast. I have stripped her gear a lot. The other units require her gear a lot more in terms of speed gear. So I do have her on 302. Don't really need to be that fast. You could even have her slower if you really want to, right? It's literally, the only threat on those teams is a Renox, and Renox is literally going to be hitting the blue unit. And it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't affect you at all. Briar Witch's area here, you do want her on Renewed Will. Of course, more DPS for the BBK. Again, this is a solo BBK nuke. But again, the damage is literally insane. I do have my effectiveness build just in case if I do not have the souls to do it. It's mainly into any Belions, right? If there's a Belion on the board, I don't have souls. And of course, Frida dies. I don't really have the souls for the Briar Witch's area, right? Because Frida's dead, I can't S3 on Frida to give my bird's eye souls. Right? So just keep that in mind, right? This typical Frida build, just have her quick enough. And a little bit of tanky. Mine's tanky enough to survive a Hua Young S3, even if it's 5k 350, I'm pretty sure. Pretty confident about that. And then lastly, the good old BBK like I did showcase earlier, right? This is literally a BBK solo at this point, because Renox S2, S3, the blue unit. The 7k fixed damage is going to make your BBK so much lower. Which means, the lower HP she is, the more damage she's going to be getting. It's quite insane how much damage you do get from this because of Renox doing her 7k fixed damage to the whole entire team. Kinda crazy. I've been using this a lot. And I mean a lot. You could even take this into paras if you are slower than the para. But again, I know my opponents at this point, because it's kind of settled the points a little bit, so I know who I'm hitting the most sometimes. I did lose to a para. Actually, I think that's how I lost my streak. I lost my streak because I'm pretty sure I ran this exact comp into a para that was on spear, and I was not fast enough to cut. So therefore, therefore, I did make a faster BBK. That's literally what happened. Yeah. I forgot. That is literally how I lost my 230 streak. So I did make a faster BBK for that situation. I may make her faster. I'm not too sure if this is enough to cut, because I do take this into Renox, but honestly, if there's a solo para, this should be perfectly fine to cut. Right? Even if the para is faster than me, it don't matter. It really doesn't matter, because I have seal and all that. And I could just give my BBK good old simple unity. I do not mind switching. We have free unequip. I might as well take advantage of it, right? But yeah, this is my second BBK. I've yet to use her because I don't really fight that many paras. If I see a para, I'm more than likely to just go ahead and Renox them. So I haven't really been able to test this comp that much versus a para with 3 knights. But again, the one time I did lose, but that's because my BBK was too slow, which was my other BBK. So just keep that in mind. Next, I do use this versus a Renox Young Senya type of defense. Other than that, I don't really use it that much. Nothing too special about it. It's basically just spam pushing. Zio S3 soul burn pushes up to Ludwig. Frida S3 pushes up to Ludwig. Luna soul burn pushes up to Ludwig. That's really about the only job of this entire team comp, and it's basically a Ludwig solo. Right, mine is still the same build from seasons ago. Thank you for subscribing, but it's literally the exact same build I had from years ago. Not years ago, seasons ago. Which actually, I think it's almost been like, how long have I had this build? Man, I think it's been like almost 8 months, maybe a little bit longer than that since I've had the little build like this specifically. Maybe longer, I'm not too sure. But yeah, 5.5, 344 insane DPS. You could put him on speed boots if there's a SAS Renox, but again, when you use this comp, there's no boss Arunca. The only time I ever use this comp, there's no boss Arunca. So I can literally just S3 to Renox and have nothing to worry about. I don't care if it's SAS or anything because, well, I have this push. I have all the push I need in the world. There are quite a bit of defenses with this Renox and Young Senya. I don't know why people copying that defense. I think it sucks. But yeah, that's the only reason I use this comp. Other than that, I don't really use it that much. Now let's go talk about a mid, the good old mid. I use this comp a lot. Now today, I will say, I have not used this comp today. I don't know why. I just been using a lot of my Luna and Reenock today. It is very, very simple. It's very, very nice. You do see my little girl at 310. We'll talk about her in a little bit. Now, the thing is here, though. With my mid, I do take off her sword. I only have one, obviously, high-speed sword, and I just share it with Reenock, which, honestly, I do not mind. I don't mind switching. Again, my account is literally devoted for Arena this season. So, therefore, all my gear is on my certain characters I do for Arena. I don't really care about RTA right now. So, that is why I'm only able to make this work. If I was doing RTA, it's a little bit complicated, right? So, of course, I just take the sword and I make it 316 of mid. I do use this quite a bit. I did bottle her artifact, and I did give her another slate because, again, she's really good. She's always going to be good no matter what. So, like, she's just one of those future-proof characters, I feel like, that's not really going to go anywhere because if people don't run Harsetti, well, then what's stopping you from a mid, right? And now let's go look at my Hua Young, which I did talk about earlier, having a second Hua Young. I have a 264 Hua Young. This allows me to cut pretty much a lot of stuff. If there's a, even if there's a, if there's like a para Euphine, it don't matter. There's Para's job, not Para's job, my Hua Young's job is literally to give my Straze enough push. I do this every time there's like a lot of Euphines in Arena, right? So with Hua Young at 264, she gets a 25% push from a mid S2. She gets a 20% push on her S2. Hua Young's passive. So I'm still cutting that in half, and I'm still getting enough CR to cut the para, even if she's on Spear, or to cut the Reenock, and I'm able to get the push I need. Now, you do need her much quicker if you do want to counter a Sass Reenock, but again, I very rarely ever take this into the Sass Reenock. But even if I do see more Sass Reenocks, I will literally just make her quicker. It's kind of hard to stop this combo, because you either need a fast Straze here, or you just need a fast Hua Young. Alright, this is going to be the same old Straze I showed earlier, where he's at currently 180. Again, this works perfectly fine. I never get cut. Rachishuri, 10 speed imprint. Rachishuri is here for the pen. 100% pen on his S3. Absolutely insane. I do have him, though, on the hit chats, because I do want to hit Flans. I want to hit the Paras if they are somehow still alive and all that. And that's just the way to go with Rachishuri. You could make him quicker, but the way I have it set up is Straze will always cut Rachishuri. Even if there's a Euphine there, my Straze will always cut Rachishuri. Anything faster, though, Rachishuri go first, which means I'm going to have to do S1 or S3. You never want to S3, because if you cut your Straze, that means everything is still alive, including the Eleanor. And if you S3, it does no damage. So therefore, you would be forced to S1. So you see where the problem can line up? That's why I do not like that at all. I don't like that at all. It ain't pretty. So therefore, make sure your Straze always goes first instead of Rachishuri. Alright? And then obviously this is going to be the mid team. Pretty much it. Pretty straightforward. Next is going to be Litica. And lastly, yeah, pretty much lastly, right? Fire Litica. Pretty good. Very, very good. I only have her at 310. You do want her on Renewed Will. It's a must-have artifact for this team comp to work. It is basically the bomb comp. Fire Litica, you have Soul Burn from Armitha. Star Armitha, go ahead and rips S3. Can stun, can apply burns, 2 burn effects by the way, and pushes back the highest combat range by 30%. Insane. Now you pair that with West Wind Shuri with a speed imprint. Fantastic unit, by the way. I love this character. This is going to be his build. I do have him on sachets because literally it doesn't really matter. You could put drink if you want, but I'd rather have the sachets because why not? S3, he applies 2 more burn effects and he will detonate the burn. And since Armitha is in the back, she gets the bomb. Explosives. After the target, plants bomb on the target for 2 turns. This is why he's very, very good. You pair this with Armitha in the back, you're more than likely 100% of the time gonna be landing the bombs. If you put Fire Litica in the back, yeah, she has Ignore ER. The Ignore ER does not apply to the explosives. So just keep that in mind. It applies on your effectiveness. I've tried this many times with Fire Litica. It's not as consistent as Armitha because there's an effectiveness difference, right? So just keep that in mind. This man is the key to this comp. He makes it so much easier, everything just dies. Now, even if you didn't have this character, would it be viable? It'll be kind of spooky. I don't know if there's enough damage there for you to actually kill through stuff without this character there. I haven't tested it myself, but I feel like he's just a must-have unit for this comp to really work. because the bombs I was used to stun the characters, which is insane. If you stun them, then it's good. And the bomb damage, kind of insane. You've seen my video. If you've seen Arena game, if you want to go watch, you go watch. You see how clean this really is. And then lastly, it's going to be Vildred. Vildred, you do want as much DPS as you want on the speed imprint. And that's pretty much going to be it in terms of all my Arena teams. You do want this artifact, I can't think of anything else that's better for him. But that is all my team comps I do use for this Arena season. Enough yapping. That's 25 minutes long. I was not expecting it to be that long. Holy. But I went into detail, right? And again, I will be uploading another video later on showing where to use these team comps into, because there's a lot of different team comps and I don't want to just fill the whole screen up with pictures, right? But other than that, though, thanks for the video. Hope you have a good day and peace out.